After dinner, Wei Wuxian took Lan Wangji's hand and led him through the halls and rooms. They passed through crowds of people who were stunned, stopped in their tracks and whispering among themselves, until they reached a wooden corridor by the water. There, they enjoyed the gentle evening breeze and the serene beauty of the lotus pond under the moonlight. After walking a few steps, Wei Wuxian pulled Lan Wangji to sit down. He reached out to take off his boots, splashing the water with his toes. "Lan Zhan, what was the name of the tune you played last time?" Lan Wangji replied softly. "Do you like it?" Wei Wuxian said, It sounds quite interesting. It's not as sleep-inducing as some of your family's other tunes. I'll make a flute version of it later and we can play it together. But what's the name of this tune? Who composed it?" Lan Wangji's light-colored eyes swept gently over Wei Wuxian's face, giving him an inexplicable sense of solemnity. He couldn't help but lean in closer, hearing Lan Wangji hesitate before saying, "I composed it." Wei Wuxian almost fell into the water, but Lan Wangji quickly grabbed him and pulled him back. Wei Wuxian's eyes lit up with a sparkle. "You wrote it? You could actually compose such a tune? Do you know what I thought of when I heard it?" Lan Wangji asked. "What?" Wei Wuxian seemed unable to hold back any longer and struck his leg heavily. It was like a young monk who had retreated to a Buddhist temple going out one day to beg for alms, only to encounter a courtesan in a brothel. The young lady was beautiful and flirtatious, the perfect type to seduce such a seemingly upright young monk, causing him to fall for her instantly. Breaking vows and losing his virtue, afraid of being scolded by his master, he did not dare to return to the temple. From then on, he fell into the world of debauchery, spending every night with girls. After saying this, he rolled onto Lan Wangji's laps, struggling to suppress his laughter. "Lan Zhan, come on, admit it. Did you secretly buy some vulgar and sensational storybook, getting inspired to compose a tune that's both improper and unorthodox?" Lan Wangji looked down and paused, his expression holding an inexplicable mixture of difficulty and hesitation. Wei Wuxian, looking triumphant, scratched his chin. "Come on, Lan Zhan. I won't report you to Old Man Lan. Just give me the storybook to have a look." Lan Wangji caught his unruly hand in his palm and replied calmly, "I don't have one." Wei Wuxian turned around, his wet bare feet rubbing slowly against Lan Wangji's chest. "All right, don't be shy, you little old-fashioned. If you want to read them, I have plenty of storybooks too. Let's pick some of the most captivating tales, compose a tune for each, and then release a collection called The Night-Long Melodies of Gusu Lan's Chin and Flute Duet, for people to use as a pastime and to express their feelings during lonely moments in bed. This way, from noble ladies who was alone in the empty room to impoverished and despondent courtesans, they can look at the storybook and listen to the tune simultaneously. They can imagine the scenes of clandestine trysts, secluded alleys, and hidden charms, fully immersing themselves and alleviating their melancholic thoughts, thus passing the long night. Lan Wangji kept frowning, gathering his piggy feet with one hand, and pulled out a handkerchief to wipe off the water droplets, replying helplessly, "Stop fooling around." Wei Wuxian kicked his feet at him lightly a few times, unwilling to give up. "Why fooling around? It will definitely be a hit. We'll start with this first song, and it needs a good name, something that appeals to both refined and popular tastes. Lan Zhan, what do you think we should call it?" Lan Wangji pulled him into his embrace and said calmly, "Wangxian." Wei Wuxian responded, That name sounds quite elegant, but does it have any special meaning? You used Xian for my name. And this Wang. Wait, isn't Wang from your name? So Wei Wuxian's eyes widened, staring for a long moment at the person holding him in his arms, whose gaze was cold, yet slightly speechless. It seemed that Lan Wangji could hear the gears of that mischievous brain turning rapidly until a sound as clear as a head hitting a brick wall echoed. Wei Wuxian rolled off Lan Wangji, grabbing his sleeve in a panic, exclaiming, This tune, did you write it for me?" Lan Wangji silently nodded. Wei Wuxian was stunned, and after a moment, he let out a loud cry, collided into Lan Wangji's chest, and buried his head, muffled, saying, "Why didn't you say it earlier, you little old-fashioned? It's such a romantic thing, you writing a tune for me, and now, my mind is full of images of little monk and seductive women. And I can't get rid of them. Moreover, that seductive woman turns out to be me." Wei Wuxian cried bitterly for a while in Lan Wangji's embrace, wrinkling his clothes into disarray. Finally, he calmed down, wrapped his arms around Lan Wangji's neck and said, "My melody, the tune you wrote for me has been so tainted by me. I don't care. You have to write me another one in the future. No, lots more." Lan Wangji smoothed his hair and softly replied, "All right." After a moment, Wei Wuxian pushed Lan Wangji's hair back from his forehead with both hands, seemingly to hide his hair, squinting his eyes as he tried to imagine. "But Lan Zhan, if you shaved your head and became a monk, you'd surely be the best-looking one. At that time, it wouldn't just be the prostitutes who'd have their eyes on you. Even the madam would want to personally have a go. You promise me, only I am allowed to slip under your monk's robe and tap your wooden fish. Got it?" Lan Wangji couldn't bear to hear his lewd words anymore. Seeing that Wei Wuxian kept babbling and sullying the purity of Buddhism, he couldn't take it any longer and sealed those wanton lips. The two kissed for a while, and in the night, the light-colored eyes, shimmering softly like glass, flickered with a subtle light. Wei Wuxian's lips were sticky, caught up in the kiss, when Lan Wangji pulled him up from the ground and started heading towards the inner courtyard. Is it already high time?" He rubbed the corners of his eyes and walked not far before realizing they had already arrived in front of Lan Wangji's room. Reluctantly, he gave Lan Wangji a peck on the cheek. "Lan Zhan, good night." Just as he was about to leave, his hand was grasped. With a slightly surprised and uncertain expression, Lan Wangji asked, "You're not staying tonight?" Wei Wuxian was momentarily stunned, then smiled and said, "No. Get a good night's sleep. I won't disturb you. We'll be setting off for Gusu tomorrow." Lan Wangji hesitated. "But because of what happened today..." Wei Wuxian quickly waved his hand. No, it's not that. It's just... I changed my mind. Don't overthink it. Go to sleep." In the distance, the sixth junior brother walked by with a white cat. Wei Wuxian called out to him and ran over eagerly. Lan Wangji stood there, momentarily stunned, being watched by both the person and the cat passing by. "Senior brother..." The sixth junior brother was holding a leash tied into a loop around Mr. Cat's neck. The cat scratched furiously, its sharp claws nearly as menacing as the sword hanging from his waist, but still couldn't break free. The sixth junior brother glanced hesitantly at the room door that had just gently closed in the distance and asked, "Did you have another fight with brother-in-law?" "Huh? No." Wei Wuxian took the leash for a closer look and realized it was a binding immortal rope. "You've got quite the expensive method for taming cats, huh? Stole it from the treasure room?" The sixth junior brother righteously declared, "I borrowed it. Senior brother, let me tell you, this cat needs to be properly disciplined. It always causes trouble whenever someone tries to sneak a peek at erotic drawings. Isn't that infuriating? It's even more terrifying than the teachers at the academy. It's practically become a demon." As he spoke, he suddenly turned serious and cast a meaningful glance towards Lan Wangji's room. With the worry of an old woman, he asked, "Senior brother, honestly, is something wrong with our brother-in-law? Is he not capable?" Wei Wuxian asked, "Incapable in what way?" The sixth junior brother made a face and hinted, incapable in that way. Wei Wuxian frowned. "Which one?" The sixth junior brother clarified, "The way of adult." Wei Wuxian retorted, "Nonsense! You little rascal, stop talking rubbish. Your brother-in-law, he is perfectly capable." He lowered his head, tugging at the rope in his hand, feeling his cheeks flush slightly and even stammering a bit. Then The sixth junior brother pondered for a moment, his eyes reflecting a look of pity, typically reserved for someone with a disability. Could it be, senior brother, that you're the one who's incapable? Wei Wuxian smacked him sideways in annoyance. Your senior brother is more than capable. The sixth junior brother was even more confused now. Then why didn't you go in earlier, senior brother? Ahem. Wei Wuxian cleared his throat and suddenly turned serious. I need to cultivate my character. Cultivate your character? Yes. Wei Wuxian's eyes lowered slightly as he reached out to stroke the white cat's head. Just like our sister said, don't always cling to Lan Zhan and cause trouble.